Max Verstappen is a four-time Formula One world champion.
From the Formula One star and his young teammate of the UK, they're going to win the race.
Yeah. Is it the slide?
They call him Mad Max, not because he's reckless, not because he's aggressive, but because when you see him in your mirrors, you know your race is about to get a whole lot harder. Four-time world champion, 54+ race wins, over 100 podiums, and he's only 27 years old. But here's the question everyone's asking. How good is Max Verstappen actually? And more importantly, why does every driver on the grid fear racing against him?
I don't really have a lot to comment on that, except that he was being a
Okay, next one, please.
Look at him, baby-faced, soft-spoken, polite in interviews. You'd never guess this is the same guy who terrorizes the entire Formula One grid every single Sunday. But the moment that visor drops, something changes. The nice guy disappears. What remains is pure, calculated aggression.
For me, I would be more fearful going up against Max in the same car. And I think it is because the car is designed around his style, or he can drive a car that Adrian Newey gives him. I think Adrian Newey gives him a car that says, this is the quickest car in the world. If you take away front downforce, it's going to go slower, but it'll be easier to drive. And Max is like, right, I have to drive how you've made this car, and I need to drive it as quick as I can. So I think that he's very good at that. And I think a lot of drivers struggle to compete with that. So it's a long answer, but it's a difficult one. I think Lewis has had more difficult teammates, but I also wouldn't want to go up against Max. So, I mean, they're all unbelievable drivers, the best in the world.
Jenson Button said it best. Max has this incredible ability to accept an aerodynamic balance that most drivers refuse to drive. Translation: Max can drive a car that's on a knife's edge, a car so pointy, so unstable at the rear, that his own teammates literally say, I can't drive this. Sergio Perez at Spa 2022. Engineer, you need more front wing. Perez, no, with more front wing I can't drive this.
For a brief moment before the end, you were leading the World Championship by dint of having the fastest lap. Max pulled that from you at the very end, so you're second in the World Championship, but still a great start.
That's the difference. While other drivers demand stability, Max demands speed, and he'll wrestle whatever monster Red Bull gives him all the way to victory lane. So what makes Max's driving style so special? Why can't anyone match him? It all comes down to one thing: weight transfer mastery. Every racing car transfers weight when braking, accelerating, or cornering. Most drivers use this. Max exploits it. Look at this comparison from Suzuka. Going through the S's, Perez lifts off the throttle almost completely. Max, he keeps 40% throttle, maintaining speed while the rear of the car is dancing on the edge of grip. See that? The rear is loose, alive, constantly sliding. One wrong input, and it's a spin. But Max holds it there, lap after lap, extracting every millisecond. Christian Horner explained it perfectly. Max can isolate feelings better than anyone. When the car becomes unstable from wind, from tire degradation, he's less affected than anybody else. Then there's trail braking. Most drivers brake in a straight line, then turn. He makes corners that other drivers take in a wide arc. He takes them tight, aggressive, gaining tenths of a second that add up to seconds by the end of a lap. Alex Albon, his former teammate, described it as eye-wateringly sharp. That level of precision, it's not just skill, it's borderline supernatural. Let's talk numbers, because Max Verstappen doesn't just win, he shatters records. 19 wins in a single season, 2023, breaking Sebastian Vettel's records, 10 consecutive race wins, a record that seemed impossible. Youngest race winner, 18 years, 228 days. Youngest world champion, 24 years old, 54+ Grand Prix victories by age 27. For context, Lewis Hamilton had 32 wins at the same age. Michael Schumacher had 35. But here's what really sets Max apart: consistency. In 2023, he won 86% of the races he entered. 86%. That's not dominance, that's annihilation. And unlike drivers who burn out or make mistakes under pressure, Max has become more precise, more calculated with each season. He's not just fast, he's inevitable. So why does the entire grid fear racing against Mad Max? Because when Max is behind you, he's not hoping for a mistake, he's forcing you to make one. Late braking, aggressive defending, zero fear of contact. He drives like someone who would rather crash than finish second. Lewis Hamilton found this out the hard way in 2021. Silverstone collision, Monza collision, Brazil forced off track, Saudi Arabia brake check controversy. Max doesn't give space because he doesn't believe he has to. In his mind, if you're alongside him, you're in his way. Lando Norris recently said, even a Max of a few years ago would struggle against the Max of today. Think about that. He's not just beating other drivers, he's beating past versions of himself. And his teammates, they don't even get close. Perez, 0.46% slower in qualifying on average. Albon, 0.62% slower. Gasly, 0.54% slower. That doesn't sound like much until you realize that in F1, 0.5% is the difference between pole position and starting 10th. Max doesn't just beat his teammates, he destroys their confidence. They show up thinking they can challenge him. By mid-season, they're just hoping to stay on the same strategy. So why do people call him the monster with the innocent face? Because off the track, he's calm, humble, even shy. He plays racing simulators for fun. He hangs out with his girlfriend Kelly and her daughter. He seems normal, but put him in a racing car and something primal takes over. His father Joss trained him in freezing rain, refused to let him use helmet pads, left him at gas stations when he didn't perform. That childhood forged something unbreakable. I like a pointy car with a rear end, just stable enough to keep you from spinning. That is on the edge. Most drivers avoid the edge. Max lives there, and that's why, despite the smile, despite the casual demeanor, when Max Verstappen is on track, he's not human, he's a machine, programmed to win, incapable of backing down. So how good is Max Verstappen? He's already one of the greatest to ever do it. 4 world championships before turning 28. Records that will stand for decades. A driving style so unique that engineers study it, teammates fear it, and rivals respect it. They call him Mad Max. Not because he's crazy, but because when you're racing against him, it feels like madness trying to keep up. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, who do you think can challenge Max in 2025? And if you want more deep dives into F1's greatest drivers, check out the playlist below. Thanks for watching, and remember, in Formula 1 there are fast drivers, then there's Max Verstappen.